Uh, Greetings, friends. It's me, Wayman29, and I wanted to come on and have a little chat about apologetics and other issues. What's interesting to me, and I've been thinking about it a lot, viewing some apologetics here on YouTube, both Christian and Islamic, people like Dr. Oakley and others, even Mormon apologetics. And what's interesting is a lot of these people present their material as truth. And what's amazing is that the secular view and ideas put forth is sometimes presented in the same way. But to me personally, they're all just theories. I'll tell you what I mean. I've changed my mind a million times, and if I was an apologetic for any belief system, I believe I would not have that capability because I would have to stay within the framework of the theology. So, when listening to an apologetic, you should know their background. Say, for example, Dr. Oakley, who probably written some books and whatnot, but he's a Christian apologetic. So the literature he discusses and the viewpoints he brings out and expounds on are from the Christian theological point of view. Same for Mormon and same for Islam. Whereas the secular view of the literature may be totally different than the theological view. However, a lot of times they will argue that these theories are the correct, quote-unquote, correct interpretations. Say, for example, taking a piece of literature, say, Isaiah 53. All three groups, being used as an example, would have different views of this piece of literature. But for me, I don't really care what they think. I will look at them for the varying interpretations of this piece of literature and how they interpret it. This is how I would go about looking at Isaiah 53. I want to know who was Isaiah. What were they? A school of people, a school of people who thought like Isaiah, writing for Isaiah, or was it a man, Isaiah? Who was he writing to? What was going on politically at the time when Isaiah's texts come out? And since it's a Hebrew piece of literature, what is the Hebrew view of it? If possible, what are some views that were held down through the centuries? Also, I would look at different ideas concerning prophecy from Judaism, not the Christian or not the Muslim or not the Mormon or whatnot view of it, but the secular generalized view of prophecy and what the Jewish idea of prophecy is. Then I would take that and see how it is applied to modern day ideas. I would also look at pesher. What were some other ways that people, Judaism, used older texts to interpret what was happening to them currently? You see a lot of pesherism occurring in Dead Sea Scrolls. So you take that, apply it to the New Testament, apply it to all the other belief systems. You come away with a more rounded view of what's happening, a more dynamic view of what's happening. So I think this is my problem with apologetics. My problem with apologetics is I feel that, as I said before, I would not be able to change my mind because I would have to stay within the framework of the theology, or I would not be a very good Christian, Muslim, or Mormon. And if you come up, or even if the research showed something pretty controversial, you would not be able to explore that further, or you would, but you wouldn't make it known, or you would gloss and do a lot of these other things. But me, I've changed my mind many times, and if you go back and look at some of my older videos, I read something in literature, I think about it. Now everything's just a hypothesis about how things are. And that's what one should keep in mind when watching apologetics, that their agenda is the belief system. and to defend the belief system. That's all. That's the difference. And some secular ideas may have a motive also, but to me, at least, they're able to change their minds about stuff. Especially like all this stuff about resurrection. A lot of times you only get from a Christian apologetics, you only get the Christian apologetic view of the resurrection. Where did it all come about? How far back in history can we find resurrection accounts? How was that viewed through the centuries? How was that viewed through Judaism? What groups thought about resurrection? What groups did not? What groups were concerned about it? Which groups were not? And how that evolved into what we have today in all these other belief systems as it branched out. And a lot of times tracing stuff back to the source plainly shows that the history that the belief system's view was romanticized, and a lot of the details may have been sometimes glossed over or left out. Looking at it from the secular historical point of view, I believe that a lot more is added. So I believe it's very important to have both views, both the theological and the secular, because if you do not, you will be limited to thinking that the belief system may have the only true account when everybody has their own true account. And you never get to the true account because a lot of times all these things are hypothesized about in our theories, and they continue to change. And what people thought about biblical texts 100 years ago is not how they think about them today. That doesn't mean it's true. You just change it through learning and through analyzing different things and new archaeology that's found. So, I don't know, I just wanted to put that out there. Just some things I've been thinking about. Take care, friends. Remember, if everybody's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking.